Welcome back to my channel. It's Milana here. Today I'm going to be telling you about 5 lessons I've learned in my last 10 years of dating. I'm 28 years old. I've been dating a lot the last 10 years. I've learned a thing or two, so I'm actually going to share 4 stories, or I'm going to tell you about 4 different guys and teach you these lessons that I've learned from dating these guys. And before we get into it, I just want to give a very brief life update. I just moved last week into this new house. So it's not set up yet. My room is a disaster, pastor. And yeah, I've just been busy ordering things on Amazon and like trying to get my new place situated and set up. Last night I was horseback riding and my horse ran me into a fence. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever been in. My knee is not looking so hot. Yeah, my knee ran into a fence, and then I was hanging on the side of the horse while it was still freaking galloping. Thanks a lot, Nicholas. F you, bro. I've never been more mad at a horse. I'm like, dude, you're freaking mean. And then finally I let go and got scraped on the ground. So we're healing over here. We're healing. And so anyways, let's get into it. By the way, congrats to all the people who have made thousands of dollars already with my investing course. It's so exciting to see all your messages. I've gotten so many messages from people saying like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting years. I've been searching for a course like this for years. It's like easy girl math, just simple to understand, and actually helps you invest in the stock market. Like it's freaking easy, step-by-step, straightforward, all in one place. So anyways, it's so exciting to see that so many of you are already making thousands of dollars. That makes me so happy. I got a screenshot from someone that they just made over $7,000 in the last 30 days. I personally have made I want to say almost 14 grand in the last 30 days. So it's really exciting to see my portfolio still growing. I mean, just today I checked my account and I'm up 3 grand on the day. Like that's super nice. Super nice to see that when I'm like laying in my bed in pain. I'm like, well, at least my investments are doing well. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so guy number 1, I'm gonna tell you about Gus. And no, I'm not changing their names to be fake names. I'm telling you their real freaking names because they deserve it. All the guys that have been sweet to me, that have been nice to me, they don't get mentioned in my content. They don't get mentioned on my channel. So if any guy gets pissed I'm talking about him, well, guess what? Maybe don't cross me in the first place. This is your karma. I am your walking karma. Thank you, next. Okay, so what's the deal with Gus? This dude, Gus, I was going out with him for about 2 weeks, and he was pretty distant and wasn't making like a huge effort to see me, and I just didn't really feel like he was that into me. So what did I do? I voiced that to him. We had a phone call, and I was like, yeah, I can't really tell if you like me or not. And he was like, well, it's only been a couple weeks. And I'm like, okay. I, put my thermometer in to check the temperature, and the temperature is cool. It is cold. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be going on dates with other guys because I'm not going to be loyal to some guy who literally says he's not sure if he likes me. What? We're not exclusive. So a couple more weeks go by. We've hung out like maybe once or twice since then. And then it was like over a week where he didn't make any plans to see me. We barely had any texting communication. So I was like, I honestly don't think he's like interested in me at all anymore. So one day he had texted me like, oh, what'd you do last night? I was like, oh, I went on a date. How about you? And then he sends me this super long text saying how awful of a person I am, how I'm not loyal, how no high value man would ever want to date a girl who's dating multiple men, blah, blah, blah. Just saying I clearly don't know what I want, that I'm not ready to settle down because I'm a serial dater, blah, blah, blah. Just attacking my personality, saying all these things that are literally the opposite of how I am. And I'm like, this just goes to show you clearly don't know who I am. So anyways, and this man was painting the picture of us having like a perfect little life at the very beginning, but then it quickly dwindled into him gaslighting me and attacking me. And yeah, so anyways, one of my lessons with him is pay attention to how you feel when you're with the person and also how you feel after hanging out with them. Because when I was dating this man, whenever I hung out with him, I was always like, okay, like, it's fine. Like, okay, if he wants to, like, I don't know, on paper, he can potentially give me the things that I want, but also maybe not, because he's saying he wants to, like, move to Arizona or, like, Florida. And I'm like, ew, no offense to my Arizonians or Floridians. I love you. I just don't want to live where you live. Okay. I love Southern California for a reason. It's super expensive for a reason, because it's freaking epic. So anyways, the lesson is pay attention to how you feel when you're with them and after them, because I was never really like, oh my gosh, he's the best guy ever. I feel so in love. I feel sparkly. I feel joyful. I feel more excited. No, none of that. I was just like, hey, whatever. And then he ends up treating me like crap in the end. Okay. So it was really easy to get over him, because I was like, I didn't even really freaking like him. Okay. A lot of times as girls, we create these images and these movies in our head of something that's totally false. Okay. We are creative directors seeing the vision of a movie that never even happened. All right, let's talk about guy number 2. This mother effa's name is, who should we go with next? Let's go with Jeff. Okay, Jeff, from the get-go, he was a classic love bombing situation. Right out the gates, on date 1, he's like, I really like you. I actually thought he might be on the spectrum, which, no shade against people on the spectrum. I've dated someone on the spectrum. But I was like, okay, something's a little off. And he just, very early on, was just like so obsessive and wanted to see me every single day, spending hours together, and was already like planning our like marriage and kids and home and where we will live and how we will budget, literally like all the logistics of a marriage and of a life. And he didn't like that I was spiritual, and he's very religious and Christian. Not even very religious, actually. He just goes to church on Sundays, which I'm like, okay, whatever, do your thing. But then he was trying to convert me to be religious. And I was like, dude, I used to be religious and I broke through all of that programming. I don't want to be religious anymore. I feel a much deeper spiritual connection and satisfaction from being with myself, from meditating, from journaling, from like connecting to the oneness of everything. Like, I don't need church. If anything, like, I actually went with him to church, and it was all of this shady programming of just saying like, you're all sinners, you're born sinners, you need to repent every day because you're like born inherently bad and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't want to raise my kids this way. So anyways, we had that issue. And then this was literally, I want to say it was either 2 or 3 weeks. No, it was 2 weeks in from dating. 2 weeks in from the day I met him. We're sitting on the couch one night and he looks at me and he goes, are you always going to be spiritual? And I said, probably. Like, I don't know exactly what the future holds, but this is like what makes me me. So yeah, it's what makes me the happiest in my life. Like, I probably will be. Is that a problem for you? And he's like, yeah, that's a problem for me. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, this isn't going to work because I want to raise my kids going to church. And this isn't going to work. Like, I need us to be on the same page about church and going to church and what we're teaching our kids. And the whole time I was like, what? Like, I'm fine with us having different beliefs. It was him who was not fine with that. And so I got really sad and I was like, okay, well, that's such a bummer because I really like you, but all right. So I get up to leave and then he's like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm leaving because you just broke up with me. And he was like, I didn't break up with you. I was like, what? You just said this isn't going to work. It's over. This is where the gaslighting began. Oh boy. And then he proceeds to tell me that's not what I meant at all. Basically just saying that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstood me. Let's fight about this. And I was like, I am not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'll never fight you. I'll just say, okay, that's what you think. Okay, fine. Like, maybe we just don't agree then. Bye. And we'll find someone who agrees or who's on the same page or who respects my views. I'm not even saying we have to be on the same page. I'm saying let's freaking just respect each other. But that apparently was too much for this guy, who is, I want to say 9 years older than me and kept telling me, oh, you're 9 years behind me. You'll get to where I am someday. Really? I hope I never do, Jeff. I hope I never get to where you are. So anyways, then that night he proceeds to tell me, I love you. I want to marry you. I've known this man for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And about 10 minutes prior to this, he's dumping me. Or saying that I need to change, completely change the fundamentals of who I am to be with him. What the? No. That's not going to work for me, honey. But actually, I don't have much experience with gaslighting. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is fine. Like, if you can accept me for me and not try to make me go to church, not make me be religious, then okay, whatever. But then a week goes by and then I forget what even happened with him. I don't even want to get into that. That was crazy. Basically, even worse, gaslighting happened a week later. Okay, so what's the lesson with Jeff? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Freaking believe them. Okay, he was saying from the get-go that he wants... Well, actually, he wasn't saying he wanted someone who's religious, but he did say that a couple weeks in, and that it was a big issue for him, and then he suddenly changed his mind quickly, and I should have just believed that first time that he's not going to be happy with someone who's not religious and just succumbs to what other people program and tell them to do. Sorry, I am a free thinker and think for myself. Sorry, that's too much for you. Okay, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Next up, we have Aria. Oh, Aria. Such a beautiful name. So much potential. Wasted. Okay, so Aria, I was going out with him for 3 months, and he was pretty distant from me a lot of the time, and, you know, he seemed great. He seemed like everything I was looking for. I actually had a really great connection with him. I loved how I felt with him. I felt like we had a really great connection, really intelligent conversations that were like exciting to talk about. But then, dun dun dun, 3 months in, he sits me down and he says, you know, Milana, I know I've been telling you that I want to get married and have kids, but I, blah, blah, blah. He trauma dumps all this stuff on me. And then he's like, and so for those reasons, I cannot really be in an exclusive relationship. I'm more of an open relationship type of guy. And I'm terrified of settling down and getting married because I am probably going to cheat on my wife because I can't handle just being with one person. And I'm like, okay, thank you for showing me who you are after pretending to be something completely different for the first 3 months of him telling me consistently that he wants to settle down, get married, have kids, blah, blah, blah. What's the lesson with Aria? The lesson with Aria is a lot of people in dating especially, they put on a mask for 3 months. I've talked to one of my friends about this. We talk about the 3-month marker. People, especially men, when dating women, they are good. They can play a character. They're actors, okay? As women, we're imaginative, creative directors. The men are the actors in the play. They know how to play the part. They can see what you want and they can pretend to be it. So, don't emotionally invest before 3 months. I've made this mistake before. Luckily with Aria, I wasn't really emotionally invested. But yeah, keep an emotional distance for at least a few months, because a lot of people, they put on a mask or they're dating lots of people and you're not a priority or whatever. Wait for them to really show you who they are, for their actions to match their words. 4 months for them to be committed and loyal, and then you can start opening your heart to them. Okay, that's just how it goes in my experience, unfortunately. Next point, don't trust a stranger. I had a therapist and she helped me process a relationship that was like 4 months. I fell head over heels in love with this man after like 6 weeks, which breaks the rule I just told you, which I recently applied. And she was like, You knew him for 6 weeks before like falling in madly in love with him? He's a stranger. He's a stranger. And what happened the 4 months later, or however long that relationship was? He completely flipped on me. And if I had waited to invest emotionally, I probably wouldn't have gotten so destroyed and so wrecked because he was a stranger putting on an act. Okay, don't trust a stranger. Okay, last lesson. There's another guy on here who I'm not even gonna mention because this video is getting way longer than I meant for it to be. My biggest lesson from dating is I may end up alone. And because of that, I want to I already have created a life that I'm obsessed with. I have a life that I love so much. I love where I live. I love my home. I love my activities, my freaking horseback riding that freaking destroys me. I love my friends. I love my job. I love my work. I love my career. I love my life. But especially if I end up alone, I really got to keep loving my life. I really got to keep creating a life that I love. And that includes financial stability and financial freedom so that I am never in a position where I'm just totally relying on a man to provide for me financially. And then he could someday switch, someday decide, you know what, honey, what do you think about an open relationship? I will be walking out the door before you finish the sentence, sir. I am not ever going to entertain anyone who gaslights me, who lies to me, who manipulates me, who cheats on me, or who wants an open relationship, or who starts being a total jerk. Okay? Bye! I'll say it with a smile. I'll give you a pageant wave. I will leave your ass so freaking fast. Put that on a t-shirt. Because I love myself, I love my life, and I can provide for myself financially. That's the lesson. So, that being said, investing is a huge way I've been able to unlock financial freedom. Like I said earlier, I've made like almost 14 grand this month just in one of my investment accounts. That's freaking epic. And I want that for you too. I want you to have the independence that you deserve. And I want you to have the financial freedom that everyone who's gotten my investing course is experiencing. They're already making thousands of dollars in just the last month since they've been buying it and messaging me. So make sure you click in the description below to take my investing course. It's on sale for 90% off and it ends and expires very soon because this is a spring sale. We've already extended it. So the deadline will be ending soon. Make sure you're subscribed and don't trust the freaking dusties, okay? Because you deserve the world and a half.